In this video, we are going to see how to capture Stripe fraud payments details and update team members on Slack. So let's say you're using Stripe as a payment gateway and you want that every time there's a fraud payment, so your team who's there on Slack should be informed. And how would you do that? You will have to integrate these two applications. So we are going to integrate this using Pabbly Connect. You can do it yourself. How? I'll show you. So here the trigger would be Stripe and the action application would be Slack. Now let me take you to my screen and show you how. So let us now begin with the process. First we have to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we click on enter, it has taken us to the landing page of this software. On the right hand side here you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. If you are an existing user, you can simply sign in. If you are a new user, then you have to here sign up for free, and it will not take more than 2 minutes. You will get 100 free tasks at the time of account creation. Now since I am an existing user, I am going to sign in here. And now it has taken me to the All Apps page. Here, I'm going to click on Access Now because I'm doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software. And now you can see that it has taken us to the dashboard of this particular software. On the right hand side, there is a tab, Create Workflow. Let's click on this. And here a dialog box appears which is asking us to name this workflow. So here we wish to capture Stripe fraud payments details and update team members on Slack. I'm going to name this workflow as Stripe fraud payments to Slack. And now I'm going to click on create. So now here you can see a very important window has appeared in front of us where we can see two important events, trigger and action. Triggers and actions are basically those two concepts or principles on which this entire automation works. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. So basically action is the response of your trigger. So here the first application, our trigger application has to be Stripe, and let's click on Stripe. Now the trigger event. So what should happen every time a new payment happens, then only this workflow will run. So let's click on new charge, and now we have received this webhook URL which is going to help us in connecting Pabbly Connect and Stripe accounts. So here we have to follow these steps. So here the first thing that we have to do is we have to go to dashboard's webhook settings section. So I'm going to click on webhooks settings. I have already logged into my Stripe account here. So it will directly take me to the dashboard page. So this is the dashboard. Here the first thing that I have to do is I have to turn on this test mode. As soon as we do that, now these are the webhooks, and here I'm going to click on add endpoint. And now here we have to paste the endpoint that we have received earlier. So I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect, copy this URL, and now here I'm going to paste this. And then here as we scroll down, we have to select the version. So I'm going to select the latest API version, and now select events. So here I'm going to select charge succeeded. Why? Because I need this workflow to run every time the payment has been made. Now let's click on add events and finally click on add endpoint. So here you can see that the status has been enabled. Now I'm going to go back to Pabbly Connect. And here what it is saying that log into your application where you have added the webhook URL and do a test submission so that the data can be recorded here in the webhook response. So I'm once again going to click on this waiting for webhook response, and now I'm going to make a payment. For this I'm again going to go back to Stripe account, and here I'm going to click on products. Let's click on this, and now here I'm going to make this test mode. And now here you can see a lot of products. Let's say that we have to buy NEET revision notes for biology. So I'm going to click on this. And now if we scroll down here, you can see view payment link. So let's click on this. And from here we are going to copy this payment link and open it on a new tab. Now here you can see that we have finally reached the place where we have to make the payment. So I'm going to fill in the required details. So here is the number. So here we have to fill in the card information. For this, I'm going to take you here. Now basically these credit card numbers, they are at a higher risk, which means there is a case or there can be a case of fraud. So I'm going to, let's say, copy this particular card, go back to Pabbly and here I'm going to fill this thing. Now randomly I'm going to write the expiry date and the CVC. Now the name on the card will be dummy demo, and then the address, so let's say the address is random address. And now once done, here we have to say, let's say it is random again, and the city is random again, pin code is 462042, and then we have the state, so it is Madhya Pradesh. Let's click on pay. So here it is processing the payment. And now you can see that we have received a message, thanks for your payment. A payment to Pabbly will appear on your statement, which means our payment has been successful. Now we need to go back to Pabbly Connect and check if we have received the response. Yes, it has. So as we come down here, see, the data object was charged, amount is here 7 lakh. This stripe doesn't count the decimal, so basically it is 7,000 rupees. You can always change the format using using number formatter. Now as I come down, I have to show something very important. So here you can see that the data object outcome risk level is coming to be elevated, which means there can be a chance of a fraud payment. Now the next application that I'm going to use is filter, which is another feature by Pabbly. It is an amazing feature. Here let's click on filter, and then I am going to map my data. Mapping means that I've already received some information. I'm going to use that information here. So here I have to select my label. I'm going to click on stripe new chart, and I'm going to type level, and I'm going to take this. Now basically what do I want here? Here I want that if this risk is high and elevated, then only a message should be shared with my team on Slack. So this should be equal to either elevated. Now we'll add another condition. So now we are going to repeat the process. Go to trigger. Here I have to find level. So this level should be equal to highest. Okay, and now I'm going to click on save and send test request. So here you can see that the condition has come as true. Why? Because the latest payment that we had done was at a high risk. Why? Which means that there is a high risk of a fraud payment. Now I have to send this message to my team on Slack. For this I'm going to click on add action step, and this time my application would be Slack. Let's click on Slack here, and then the action event would be send channel message, because I wish to send a message to my team. Let's click on connect. As soon as we do that, here you can see that Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Slack channel, the Slack account, and here I'm going to click on add new connection, and then finally connect with Slack. Now here we have to enter the token type. So it has to be user. Every time you have to send a message, maybe along with an image or a video or a URL, then you should always use user token type. Now let's click on save. And once we are done with this, here Pabbly Connect is requesting permission to access the Pabbly Connect Slack workspace. So I'm going to click on allow here. And here you can see that the authorization has been successful. Now as I come down, here it is asking me to fill in some information. Before I continue with this, I'm going to take you to my Slack account. And here let's click on this particular workspace. Now here you can see that I have already created a few channels. So, and there is a channel named as fraud cases. You can create your own channel by clicking on this plus icon over here. So I have already created one, and I have already added a few people here. Going back to Pabbly Connect. Now here you can see the channel. So let's say that the channel that I want is fraud cases. Now here we have to write a message. So let's say that I have to write hello team. These are the details of high risk payments. Details. First of all, we have to map the name. What is mapping? Basically, mapping means that we already have received this information and now we are taking it from the previous steps. So here I have the So what is mapping? Basically, mapping means that we have already received this information in our previous steps and now we are just retrieving it. So this is the name. Now I also want the email address of the person. So here I'm going to again go here and type email, and this is the email address. I'll just write regards. So basically this is, I've already conveyed that this is like high risk payment, which means there can be a chance of a fraud payment, and now I've given them the name and email address. Now the image URL, image alt text, bot name, bot icon, you can fill in this information as per your need. I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here you can see that we have received the API response, and this is the message that will go on my Slack account. So let's quickly go back to our Slack account and check if we have received the message. See here, we have received, hello team, these are the details of fraud payment, name and email address is there. So this basically means that our entire process has been integrated properly. So Slack and Stripe, these two accounts are totally integrated now with the help of Pabbly Connect. Now we have to check this live. To check this live, what we are going to do is we are going to do another payment. So I am going to take you to my payment link, and here if I take you to the products, now let's say here this time we wish to buy Redmi 11i. So let's click on this, and if we scroll down, here is view payment link. So now here we have received the payment link. Let's copy it, and now I'm going to paste it on a new tab. Let's click on enter, and here we have to fill in the information. So let's say it is demo@pabblytudes.com. Then we have the mobile number, then the card information. So this time I'm again going to go back and see, let's say that we want this particular card now. So I'm going to copy it. Here let's fill in the information, and these are the other details. Then the name on the card is Demo Demon, and then the billing address. So this is the billing address and the PIN code, and finally the state. Let's click on pay. So now here you can see that the payment has been successful. Now what we are going to do is we have to check if a message has been sent on Slack. So I'm going to go to my Slack account. So here you can see that we have received another message. These are the details of fraud payment, and this time the name is Demo Demon, which means that now we can say that yes, the entire process has been integrated successfully. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect and let's understand the entire process. So basically it was a simple 3-step process where the trigger was Stripe and the action was Slack. We also had included one more action step, which was filter, to understand the difference between general payments and high risk payments, and that is it. I hope you do not have any doubts. If in case you have got any doubt, then you can always refer to the workflow which is given in the video description, and you can even clone the same workflow and process immediately. In case you have any other query or doubts, you can always write to us.